you go over?
At this time, I would even ask you all to give your undivided attention to our speaker, the speaker of the morning coming up. I pray that the Most High God will be with him in his words, and that he could even break down this portion to the best of his ability. As I bring before y'all, brother, Adon Yohnahsahn, Ben Manashe, Ben Yisrael, Baruch haba.
Shabbat Shalom. Hallelujah. The Most High is good indeed. I'd like to thank the Most High for my life, the lives of you all, for allowing you to make it here safe on this Shabbat day. It's good to see y'all. It's good to see y'all. I like the other event we had with the game night / with the food and the raffles. It was good. I really wanted to win, but my brother Uzael, Chief Uzael, I'm not mad for him. I'm happy that he won. It would have been a blessing if you would have gave me some. But I like the fact that we came out on a day that wasn't the holy day, and we actually was just relaxing and feeling good. It wasn't stressful at all. If you missed it, you missed something good. Today we're going to get into a portion and talk about family. A lot of unfortunate, grimy stuff happens with this, but it's our history. I used to always look at the Tanakh like everything in here, this is how it's supposed to be. Then a couple years I started realizing these are regular people, and we all got free will, but Yah has the ultimate power over free will. Sometimes we get a little caught up with what we could do, forgetting that the Most High will always step in. And in this portion, you're going to see how everybody's kind of comfortable doing what they want, but then they forget the Most High, and then he comes in. Our father Jacob, just dealing with family, he never asked for those women. He didn't deny them either, but he didn't ask for them, and it shows me as a man in life, you got to know what you want and know what you're doing, and nobody should be able to come and tell you what to do. You know, if I want something, if I want lasagna and you give me pizza, if I'm hungry, I eat it. But I want lasagna.
Teacher.
This is how these women came along, and this is how our nation was formed. I'm saying all this because the kids, the children, had to grow up with all of this. And a lot of when they were growing up that I realized is it wasn't when Yosef was around. A lot of them, they grew up and Yosef wasn't in the picture. And he came in after. So it's a humble experience when you actually have your father, you love him, you're doing your thing, and then somebody else come and they have a stronger love for them. And this is what's going on here. This is basically where the story pick up. Last week, they buried his father, Isaac. He lost the woman that he did everything for, Raquel. All of this stuff that he had was based on him just wanting that one woman, and she left. And now he's left with 2 sons. This is all that he has, that what he wanted, not what somebody gave him, what he wanted. And unfortunately, he's wrong for not being able to channel his emotions, because the children deserve was fair. The children going to do a bunch of wicked stuff, but before they get into that, children, if they grow up feeling like they not loved, that stuff turn into hate, that stuff turn into low self-esteem, and that stuff carries with them for the rest of their life. And then other people wind up being affected by it. And this is what happened here. So we're going to pick this portion up with chapter 37 in Genesis. Ready?
We're in the book of Genesis, the 37th chapter, starting at the first verse. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Yaakov dwelt in the land of his father's sojournings, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Yaakov. Yosef, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, being still a lad even with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Yosef bore evil report of them unto their father. Now Yisrael loved Yosef more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him.
Now, like I was saying, the children are wrong for that, but they are getting a relationship from a father, from a son, that is a little hard for them to digest. And the problem with it is the gossip and the fact that they brothers and they clicked up. Mm-hmm. When you got family, it's very, very hard to ease out of whatever that family's doing, no matter how strong you are. Because if you go against your family, even though they're wrong, you might not have the strength to stand on your own. It's messed up, but this is just the truth. So most of the time, your family gives you the strength to actually be wicked. Your family give you they make you feel okay, like everything is all right, because a bunch of people that's around you feel the same way, but it doesn't make them right. And this is what's going on here. As long as we all could bond together as brothers and acknowledge that our father be showing favor to him, then I feel good about my anger and it's justified. And if I have somebody around me that can agree with me, I feel more confident that there's nothing wrong with how I feel. Now, once this turns to anger and hate, like when you are mad and then that hurt, that's what I mean, the hurt turns to hate, people can't come and talk to you no more. All you want to do is get back at the person or cause more problems. Tamashi.
Verse 5. And Yosef dreamed the dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves came round about, and bowed down to my sheaf.
Now this is the thing about being a younger brother. He's naive to the fact that his brothers is sick of him. Now, he got love. The love that most people need from, even though his mother's not there, he's feeling confident and good, and he's growing up feeling okay. The other children, they don't have this feeling. And they're grown men, but even grown men need love. Even grown, because they trying to be so hard and so tough, and then at the last minute they just gonna break out of nowhere, because every human being need love. I got some stuff that I wanted to say that I didn't want to forget. People that have a high self-esteem don't blame people for their feelings, for how they feel. In other words, you're not always looking to put off your hurt or your flaws and stuff on people, because you know you got flaws and you need to fix it. So you more willing to just walk around confident. You're not focused on anything, because you know what you need. People that got a high self-esteem, they don't blame people for stuff. They more in tune with what they need to do. People that have a low self-esteem think they perfect. They never wrong about nothing. You can never tell them nothing. So they seem like they right, they seem like they cool, they seem like they tough, but inside they scared of looking funny in front of you. So they always make themselves look perfect. A person that knows that they gotta fix themselves is more confident and comfortable to tell you, yeah, I got a little attitude, I gotta fix that. But people that can't do that, they got low self-esteem. They're trying to hide it. Low self-esteem people depend on others to have low self-esteem. This is when you're around people and they consistently always have to tell you how better they are, what they got better. And no matter how much you try to just have a regular conversation, it always stems to show about how my family's better than you, or this or that. It comes from always, you have to put the person down to make yourself feel good. And this stuff happens with stuff like this from the family, from not feeling love. And then as you grow older, it stays with you for the rest of your life. And then people that love you got to come around you and cater to your attitude. It all starts right here. Just from a teeny bit of love, a teeny bit of attention. Even if the father was showing them love and they was overreacting, it needed to be a conversation. When they keep building up, now they hate him. And there's nothing you could do about it. Thomas Sheep.
Verse 8. And his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, behold, I have dreamed yet a dream, and behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowed down to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him. His brethren envied him. For his father kept the saying in mind.
Now look at the difference between your mind. The brothers were still angry and getting more upset. The father was a little upset and rebuked them. But when your mind is not focused on being mad, it could function better. So the father is able to say, but Dad, you keep having these dreams. I don't know what it is, but let me just keep this in mind. Right. Where the brothers is walking away with just more hatred towards them. Because if it's all about what's in your mind. Give me a second. I'm doing a time machine.
And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Yisrael said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said unto him, here am I. And he said to him, go now, see whether it is well with thy brethren and well with the flock, and bring me back word. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, behold, he was wandering in the field.
I should have stopped you earlier, but what you notice here is how are the brothers feeding the flock, and then the father has to tell the child to go and do it. Obviously, to me, the brothers got comfortable with just accepting the fact that we always got to do work, and however he feel, he'll tell Yosef. And a lot of times, parents feel that when I say it, that's when it's time to do it. So you'll see a lot of children, they'll do this and do that, do a bunch of stuff, walk past you or get mad or don't say nothing, and then you this angry, you holding it in, and then you see the parents say, get over here, or say shalom, or don't move like that, and in your mind you feel like, yes, but you don't tell nobody, right? Parents think that every time when they correct the child, that's the perfect time to correct the child. And that's Jacob's problem. He feels that, oh, hey, what your brothers doing? You ain't with them doing the sheep, man. Go down there and get them sheep. But they already focused and know, like, you favoring him. He's naive, like, hey, man, go with your brothers. Where your brothers is at? But the spirit is already there. The father is just naive to all of this. And parents have a way of, they mean well, but they just naturally think everything they doing is the way, and because you the child, you got to accept it. I remember something very traumatizing that happened to me when I was in elementary school from my emo. And it just, to this day, I still think about it. But you know how we got to wear kipahs at school and all of this? So I must have did something wrong. And I had half of my hair braided and the other half out. And then my mother was this mad, and she said, boy, you gonna go to school like that. So, but check this out. This is the first day I gotta wear a kippah. The first day. I never wore one before. So now I'm supposed to put this kippah on my head to cover up one half of my hair braided and the other half not. So I went, and this is elementary school, so your self-esteem is not like there yet. So she's like, Teacher said, boy, take that hat off. I said, it's my culture. She said, boy, take that hat off. So the kids walked out. Because I went to school shook. I ain't gonna lie. I already knew what time it was. And the kids went out. And then she said, Yohnahsahn, I'm not gonna tell you again. Come over here, take that hat off. And then I said, it's my culture. And then she lifted the hat up. She saw my head. She laughed. And she said, I'm gonna let you wear the hat today. But parents think everything they do is right. I love my mother to death, but that was a rough one.
And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? Verse 16. And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they are feeding the flock. And the man said, they are departed hence, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and he found them in Dothan. And they saw him afar off, and before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into one of the pits. And we will say, an evil beast have devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and delivered him out of their hand, and said, let us not make his life, let us not take his life. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, but lay no hand upon him, that he might deliver him out of their hand to restore him to his father.
Now, it's a lot going on here. The thing about grimy people, they always know what they're going to do before they do it. So the fact that they got something that, yes, premeditated. Let's do this and do that and say an evil beast did it. I'm going to jumping ahead of the story, but if you notice, they stick with that beast story. And one thing I noticed about grimy people, you ever argue with people and they already got what they're going to say before? Like, it's like, I know you're going to get mad at me, so let me just focus on saying this to you and saying that to you. Most people kind of know that they're wrong, and people are well seasoned with being wicked. That's just the best way to put it. Tamashe.
And it came to pass when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph of his coat, the coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into the pit. And the pit was empty, there was no water in it.
Oh, Salika, I forgot to say something about Reuben. Reuben has the problem a lot of us got. Reuben was strong, but then he wasn't confident in what he felt. He didn't want them to do that to Joseph, but he didn't have the courage to say it. Why? Because he was scared of the people that's around him, even though they his brothers. And this is what's the thing about young people that I could say from experience. If you an older person and you not really like that, a younger person gonna size you up quick and know, like, you just telling me this because you can't say nothing to the older people. A younger person, a strong younger person to catch up. His brothers saw that he wasn't that strong, and that played a role. All of us, men and women, when you feel like you need to do something, do it. Stop being shook and letting people tear you down, because we talk about each other too much. You could have two sisters or two brothers, right? And y'all sitting in the service, and one sister say, you know what, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna read the Psalms. And then the other sister said, please, I ain't doing that. And now the sister that wanted to read, she has a stronger effect on her, because she's scared that she might laugh at her. So now you got the confidence to come up and read, but your friend on the side is like, I ain't going up. So the friend on the side that's actually more scared than you has a stronger influence over you. That's the thing about influence and being strong. And a lot of people is not like that. You allow people that's more weaker than you, more weak, to influence you because you don't want them laughing at you. And that's what happened to Reuben. That's how, jumping ahead, but Reuben rent his clothes because they all grimy. So when you're around grimy people in the street, or you thinking like, I'm tough, everybody's grimy and everybody trying to get you. So they all grimy. Reuben got his little grimy thing, this one got his little grimy thing, and it clashes with each other. So basically, Reuben dropped the ball here as the older brother, not being strong enough just to say, nah, we're not doing that. Dealing with his younger brothers, having them not like him or whatever, but he could still get what he wanted. He played the fence, and he wasn't strong, and then it backfired. Thomas Sheep.
Verse 25. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a caravan of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, with their camels bearing spicery and balm and latinum, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Yehudah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother, our flesh.
They're going to sell a brother for some seasoning salt. Tom Sheep.
And his brethren hearkened unto him. And there passed by many a nights, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver.
Now this got to be a lot of hate, strong hate, that you following all the way through it. And the only way that you could feel confident about this is the people around you. That's why you got to watch people around you. Just because everybody joking and feeling good and laughing, you always should just analyze what's actually going on here. Because Yah's not going to care about you with a group of people. He going to judge you for the choices that you made. Right. Thomas Sheep.
And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit. And behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not. And as for me, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed the he-goat, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found. Know now whether it is thy son's coat or not. And he knew it and said, it is my son's coat.
Now
and
look at how deep the griminess goes. And this is something that you got to feel blessed about in your family. Feel blessed about the good qualities that your family had, that you grew up with in life, that you could walk with anybody around and they could see a nice person. A lot of people grew up in houses where it was, maybe gossip or maybe this or maybe the mother wasn't there, and you see it in them. So now, as that child gets older, it's hard to shed that griminess that they grew up with in their household. This is what's happening. These dudes are grimy. Not only are they grimy, they actually making their father feel guilty. Because think about it. The father sent Joseph out in the woods. They come back with a coat, making him feel like a beast. A beast killed the son. So if they keep their story together, the father think that it's his fault. Because he's the one that told Joseph to go out and get your brothers. Right. And now they come back with a coat and blood. So now he thinks it's his fault. He think it's his fault. And now and they rather live with that instead of just tell the truth. And that's the thing. I tell my younger brother this all the time. I say, look, you could do this, you could do that. But the difference, just be honest. Right. Be honest and say I messed up. Sometimes people gonna get you. Sometimes it might fly. But you got to be honest. And then the second thing is you got two types of people. The person that you tell them something and they just yell and scream, and then the person that you tell them something and they trying to listen to you. You can't function with people that the second you tell them something, they just with it and and they don't care. Those people break down the structure of people trying to be righteous. And it's not fair. It's like, why do everybody have to humble to one person with an attitude? Think about that. Like, that one person is so tough. Think about that. That one person or that one brother, no, is other people that say, you know what, I'm not going to be like that. And now they allow that person to slide, and people got a tippy toe around that person's character. But everybody needs to just check themselves. It'll all flow smooth. Keep yourself in your place so you don't get mad when somebody got to put you in your place.
And evil beasts have devoured him. Joseph is without doubt torn in pieces. Verse 34. And Yaakov rent his garments and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted. And he said, nay, but I will go down to the grave to my son mourning. And his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, the captain of the guard.
Now, one thing I did forget to mention is Judah. which we're about to get into right now. Strong people, whether you wicked or whether you righteous, when you are strong, Judah was the opposite of Reuben. He wasn't right now, but he was strong in whatever he felt. So he felt like, we just going to beat up our brother and kill him? Nah, let's make some money off of it. I mean, but he's wicked, but he's strong in how he is. So right now, for some strange reason, Judah just do his thing and move away from everybody. Tamashi.
Chapter 38, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And it came to pass at that time that Yehudah went down from his brethren, and turned into a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hira. And Yehudah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her, and he went in unto her.
Now, just like when they went down to Dothan, and you saw how the brothers separated, and Reuben didn't even know they sold him, I'm assuming when they went down into town, all of them did their little thing. They all did their thing. And this Adulamite is somebody that Judah used to probably be with. So his friends told him, hey, probably come over here, man. Chill out with me, man. And this is something that's probably been in his mind. Because people don't just do stuff. That's another thing. People, when you get into arguments with people and they got all this stuff they saying, they've been waiting to hold that. Waiting to tell you it. When you have a fight or something, or break up with somebody or this, and you just immediately do this or do that, that stuff been on your mind. This brother right here, he already been focused on moving out with him. The problem though is, there's no Yah. There's not Yah in this. We haven't focused on Yah. Just stop right there. Now, this is, at first I was focused on the child, but then it's like I said from the beginning, maybe the child was wicked, right? But what did Judah do as raising the child, as having this child? Like I said, there was no Yah. So when you make this move and you step off, what are you doing? Your friend, the Adulamite, who is he? Is he an influence on you? You an influence on him? You just chilling? You just living life? What are you doing? So now you have this son, and Yah kills the son. So it shows me Yah is not important. People just chilling and people just living life. And the Most High has to wake Judah up, because you got children, but they're not praising the Most High. How can the Most High just say he killed them because he was wicked? He don't even leave an excuse. He just say, I killed him. That's it. He was wicked. Say who? So there's no Yah. Maybe he shouldn't have stepped off. But Tamashi.
Verse 8. And Yehudah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed would not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother.
Now this is the second child, right? The first one was wicked. This is what the second. And the law, how we know it wasn't in. They doing things by tradition. But like I said, why should the son do something for tradition, but he don't feel Yah? He don't know Yah. Did you teach him it? Was it important? Everything, it seems like, is just relaxing. And I'm trying to find my own space, do my own thing. And like I said, we all got free will. It just don't work out your way. You get so gassed that you could do what you want, and then the Most High got to come in. And it's funny how, if you're a spiritual person or you striving, whenever something go wrong, the first thing you think of is what you shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
The second something go wrong, Tamashi.
And the thing which he did was evil in the sight of Yahweh, and he slew him also. Then said Yehudah to Tamar his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown up. For he said, lest he also die like his brethren. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time, Shua's daughter, the wife of Yehudah, died. And Yehudah was comforted, and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnah, he and his friend Hira the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnah to shear his sheep. And she put off from her the garments of her widowhood, and covered herself with her veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in the entrance of Enaim.
Now, regardless of what we want to say about clothes, it was a reason she had the widow clothes on. Then there was a reason she took off the clothes. So it just showed a difference in the women you could approach because you know how they are based on the clothes that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Judah's wrong, but she's also grimy as well. Two wrongs is never going to make it right. And I don't know what was her intentions. What I do know is she wanted to know what was Judah doing. And she was going to make sure she find out. Tamashik.
He sat in the entrance of A9, which is by the way to Timnah, for she saw that Shelah was grown up, and she was not given unto him to wife. Verse 15. When Yehudah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, for she had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way and said, Come, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid of the goats from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet and thy cord, and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it them unto her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him.
This is what happened when you're thirsty. There's no other way around it. A lot of people say, you know, they tell them.
Take your time, son.
I know. Mm-hmm. They tell us to be smart and wise, and that's what we need to do. Give me a second. I got this. But basically, he's not thinking straight, and because he want what he want, it allows the sister to manipulate him. Not necessarily manipulate, but she could get whatever she want out of him. And this is the problem with men. Men got to be strong. Men are not just put here to like just have sex and pay your bills. I'm not. A man has to be strong to tell you when you're wrong. Because if I can't be strong to tell you something, what you need me for? Like when something happens, I just gotta just go by you and your attitude and this. And I'm not saying all women are like that, but a lot of women are satisfied with the fact that they could just tell their man what to do. And it's like, so when he's right about something, he's taking care of your kids, and he's actually right about something, he still got to talk 8 hours to like listen to you. And then men accept this because I just want peace in my life. 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 Come on, man. No, seriously, like. And then the children see this. So people get together to help each other. And everybody's opinion is valid. Everybody's opinion is valid. So if you crush the man when you need him to be strong, you don't got nothing. You don't want a bunch of yes men around. You don't want a bunch of aggressive do what I say either. But you need some men with some strength to say no, and we're not doing that. And it ain't got to be yelling and screaming. It's just you standing your ground. That's it. It's not a big of a deal. The problem is though with men, you allow it. Like Reuben, the thing about Reuben that's so deep to me is it's not that he's just so unstable. He's not confident in himself. A lot of us is not confident once somebody say, oh, you gonna do that? Oh, you gonna do this? And then you shy away and you run through life never being yourself because you're scared of what people think of you. So you gotta like get a little courage sometimes. Tamashik.
And she rose and went away and put off her veil from her and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Yehudah sent the kid of the goats by the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive, verse 20, the Adulamite to receive the pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not, verse 21. Then he asked the men of her place, saying, Where is the harlot that was at A9 by the wayside? And they said, There have been no harlot here. And he returned Yehudah and said, I have not found her. And also the men of the place said, there have been no harlot here. And Yehuda said, let her take it, lest we be put to shame. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that, it was told Yehuda, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, have played the harlot.
Now what's funny though is, whenever you mess up, everybody, if nobody see you, you kind of brush it under the rug, right? Like if nobody catch you messing up. But you don't really learn like that. Because you always chase away the embarrassment, so you don't like embrace it. Most people, like the wisdom in life and the strength is in the embarrassment. When you run from being embarrassed, because that's something that nobody can hide from, no matter how cool you try to act. Everybody is eventually going to do something off. So now when you running from it, you running from the wisdom from Yah trying to teach you and help you in life. Because once you could see you messed up, now you see, all right, I need to fix this. But if you always got to go all out your way, now you got to spend 5, 10, 15, 20 years to learn the same thing from that mistake that happened, that you was too scared to be embarrassed in front of people. And you running from it. You got to be able to just take everything and accept it. And not always have that fear of people laughing at you. That's going to hold you back from Yah. And then you walk around arguing with each other because people trying to tell you stuff about yourself that you don't want to hear. And this is the consistency with us. We could do better. It's just that whatever hurts you, that's the strength. That's the righteousness. That's the elevation. That's the change. When you shying away from that, you just forcing yourself to be the same person, keeping yourself in the same circle. It's as simple as that. Thomas Sheep.
Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, hath played the harlot, and moreover, behold, she is with child by harlotry. And Yehuda said, bring her forth, and let her be burnt. Verse 25.
Now this is the typical Israelite today. I'm sorry, but it is. Every 5 seconds, the second you don't do something right, it's and everybody talking about you. Oh, my favorite one. You got 3 ZCs on. It's like 3 ZCO. And it's like, all right. It's okay. Like, and I never understand. It's like, all right, if you tell me first, boom, you got 3 on, son. Oh, all right. A half an hour passed. And you know you got the same person though. Not a different person. You know you got 3 on. But you got another one for me? What I'm gonna do? I gotta be a slave to you because you know I got 3 on. Okay. You got me, man. All day long, yeah. Gotta be humble to you. I know. And it's like, come on, we don't gotta be like this, so super duper judgmental. Just ease up. Ease up. Because this is we see each other once a week. Sometimes we blessed to see. But let's enjoy each other, not like focus on who's doing what. Because it makes people uncomfortable and everybody's character is different. So we need to just make people feel comfortable, not sizing each other up for what, Thomas Sheep.
When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child? And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these? The signet, and the cords, and the staff.
Now this is what's deep to just piggyback on my point. Yes, in here it says that the law is, if the woman is playing a harlot, she shall be killed. If she's a daughter of a priest, she got to be burnt with fire. I know all of that. But she did it with the dude that tried to kill her. Isn't that something? The same person that said, yo, burn her, kill her, stone her. You the one that did it though. So back to my point about with the ZCO, we are so quick to judge each other, then tomorrow it's you. And nobody says nothing when it's you. You be like, oh, and we've all seen, and I had to learn, we all gotta learn this, your mouth. You say a bunch of stuff, and then some strange reason it come right back at you. Oh, I can't believe she raised her kids like that. And then next week you got problems with your kids. And now people looking like, well, all that stuff you was saying. And And it just comes on you. You gotta watch what you say. Stop being so judgmental, because tomorrow it's gonna be you. And then everybody gotta just, now you hoping nobody find out. One thing I learned, when people getting yelled at, now let's try to be the person that just, all right, that's enough. If 5, 10 people yelling at somebody, you don't gotta be the extra one. If a brother, how we do, they getting it, and then you know he getting it good, you ain't gotta add your little extra. Like he got enough. It's a lot of people who doing the job. So it's okay. But we all just jump on each other too much. And that's what he doing to her. It's like, dag, if she didn't play her cards right, she was gonna die. That's the flip side to all of this. She was gonna die. She played her game real well. And this, most women are smart. She did this, and it's like, I felt like, it's something with her for you to sleep with your husband's father, knowing that it's him, thirsty like that. But I also see too, I don't know, he promised her something. He promised her that you would have my son. So because he promised her, the Most High made sure that it came from that seed. That's what I see. That's what I see. Because he had a promise to her, out of nowhere, however it's going to happen, she had it. She had that seed. And last but not least, we talk so much about this and that. Yah used the harlot for us to get in the land. And from Judah, it comes from him sleeping with his son's wife. That's the first line of how they come out. So let Yah do his job with judging people. We could judge when the matters come, but let Yah do his job. How they say, let go and let God? Because how we so quick to just be so focused on something, and then half the stuff don't even be affecting you and your family. But you're just so focused on, you gotta let it go. Like, it shows no trust in God. If every single thing you gotta be the one to talk to, you gotta be the one to make sure you blow the horn, you don't have trust in God. You feel like you gotta do it yourself. So you gotta ease up off of that. The Most High work how he work. He don't work off of our anger and when we feel like it and when we want it. And that's just the reality of life. Thomas,
verse 26. And Yehuda acknowledged them and said, she is more righteous than I. For as much as I gave her not to Shelah my son, and he knew her again no more.
And this is the thing too. I forgot about that. It's a lot going on here. One thing you gotta know, at least he was honest. That means so much that gets passed away. Crown Prince Yohnahsahn gotta take the credit because he highlighted this first. But he looks bad, but he had to be a man. He looked bad, but he had to man up and take that embarrassment. A lot of people, like I said, run from the embarrassment. So you don't get the growth in life. This was a changing point for him. This helped him in his life to change. And you can't run from what the Most High just give you in life. You got to accept it. Thomas.
And it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she travailed that one put out her hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. And it came to pass as he drew back his hand that, behold, his brother came out, and she said, wherefore hast thou made a breach for thyself? Therefore his name was called Perez. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah.
And notice, after these children, he didn't mess with her anymore. That's right. Something to take note. You can mess up. That's the thing about Judah, that he's strong and wicked, and then when he decides to stand on strong with being right, he's strong with being right.
Right.
It's something in just being strong, period. To not care about people's opinion, but to know you're trying to please the Most High. Thomas,
That's it. Chapter 39, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Joseph was brought down to Egypt. And Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, the captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bore him of the hand of the Ishmaelites that had brought him down thither. And Jehovah was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that Jehovah was with him, and that Jehovah made all that he did to prosper in his hand.
because that's life. Life is consistently some things gonna happen to you and you gonna hurt. You gonna break, and that's probably right when the Most High is coming to help you. And a lot of times people don't get that help.
Right.
He got done dirty, bad, grimy, and he just learned, it seems, to just move on with his life. But then Yah was with him. So instead of him being like with a low, bummy person, he was with the high class.
Right.
That's a blessing. A lot of times in life, you can't focus on your blessings because you keep complaining about stuff. That was a blessing. His brother sold him. He went from being free to doing whatever he want to now he got to do what somebody else tell him. That is traumatizing. Especially when you don't know what's going to happen. But then y'all stepped in. You always have to do what's right and just go with the path. But don't put so much focus on you know what's going on and you know what to do. And you give no, just have the spirit of Yah and deal with the people around you nice. He could have had a bitter spirit. He could have hated everybody around him. And every time somebody said something, he always was fighting and this and that. And I could have got him killed, and he ain't do nothing wrong to get him in that situation. But he turned it around and he just humbled and went, and then Yah blessed him to be in the house of Pharaoh.
Verse 4. And Joseph found favor in his sight, and he ministered unto him. And he appointed him overseer over his house. And all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he appointed him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that Jehovah blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of Jehovah was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand. And having him, he knew not aught save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was of a beautiful form and fair to look upon.
Now, the one thing about Joseph that was his problem, he was naive. It's something that I don't get about Joseph. That's just, I know when people don't like me. Think about that. He walked to his brothers and had no idea that they felt grimy towards him. So he had a high level of being naive. That's going to backfire on him as we can continue. Thomas.
And it came to pass after these things, that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. And she said, lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master having me, knoweth not what is in the house. And he hath put all that he hath into my hand.
Right.
He is not greater in this house than I. Neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?
See, he brought Yah into the picture. The child that didn't grow up with all that hate. He was comfortable with himself. So even though his situation was messed up, when he got older, he still was able to be himself. You got to watch how you treat these little children. And they grow up, and you yelling at them, and they mad, and they want to say something to you, and you just shunning them away. Somebody gonna get that anger. Somebody's gonna get it. Thomas.
And it came to pass as she spoke to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her, or to be with her. And it came to pass on a certain day when he went into the house to do his work, and there was none of the men of the house there with him, that she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out.
Now this is the problem with being naive. Like, she did it a few times. How she consistently did it and you never said nothing? This is the problem with us. You see people doing stuff and then you don't have the heart to say nothing. And then you allow it to happen, Something happened with you and that person. At your job. Okay. Your job.
No more.
The person, you got a problem with your supervisor. and you don't want to say nothing, you don't want to fix it, and you let it linger. And then your supervisor talk first before you. That's what happened here, Tamashik.
And it came to pass when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spoke unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in the Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment by me and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his master came home.
Now, this is the problem with him being naive. He was supposed to say something from the gate. Maybe something like, not because this is tricky. This is tricky right now. This is tricky right now. And this is a touchy one when you're trying to say, look, man, your husband this or your Isha that, and then the spouse go, what? Yeah. This is tough. This is a tough one. What I would have did, being that I'm looking at this, I would have said, listen. I'm not trying to play my field. I'm not trying to get on your nerve. You got to get a little crazy. Listen. Yeah, Isha kind of be liking me a little.
Kind of be liking me.
Look. Look. You don't gotta believe me.
Teach us, son.
You don't gotta believe me. Listen, relax. You don't gotta believe me. Look, and this is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to go and say, look, don't believe me. Just watch it. That's what he's supposed to do. Real smooth. And then he's supposed to go in, do the dinner, and say, and then he's supposed to baby the guy. He's supposed to baby him. You gotta baby him. Look. Don't get mad. Relax. For real. And then he's gonna see, and this is how strong it is. The man's gonna see it, and he's still gonna say, I don't know. And all that woman gotta do is say, look, what you I just smiled at him, please. Because his heart don't want to believe that. Whatever your heart don't want to believe, your mind is going to consistently make sure it stays right there. Tamashik.
And she spoke unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant whom thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment by me and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which he spoke unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, the place where the king's prisoners were bound. And he was there in the prison. But Jehovah was with Joseph, and showed kindness unto him, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
Now, the thing that made it hard for the king that I'm looking at is the problem with when people lie and you know somebody's good. He didn't leave the king no room. So now, even if you feel like your wife do this or that, if your wife is holding up something, like, yo, look, you trying to wake me up. And she holding this up. Now your mind is like, you can't think straight. He left room for her, and then she's probably saying, hold up. I'm trying to get him. He probably could tell on me. Nah, he ain't gonna tell on me. And she go first. And the only reason why I'm piggybacking on this is because this is what happens with people too. People do you wrong, and this is when I learned about elevating in life. You start to elevate when you done wrong, and you're not running around telling everybody somebody did you wrong. All right. Now, what you learn that's gonna hurt is the person that did you wrong. They trying to save their character, so they run around talking about you.
Right.
They run around, yo man, you know Son, man, and then you walking, and then somebody come and tell you something, and you're like, how do you know about that situation?
Right.
Because I wasn't saying nothing. You asked me about the brother, about the sister. I said they doing fine.
Right.
You don't know me and that person. You don't know nothing about me and that person got problems. So how do you know about that situation? Because that person is trying to save face, save their character. They fear me possibly telling the truth, so they need to get out their story first. Same thing here. I fear him telling, so let me get my story out first. And it's like, why don't we just live righteous? You don't gotta worry about some people. literally live life, focused on faking people out, focused on telling people lies, focused on, hey man, all right, yeah man, and you just crack. And you get seasoned in this. And you don't learn how to be a regular person. And people that love you gotta cater to you acting funny. They can't get nothing sincere and genuine and real out of you because you're chasing trying to look like you real. Right. Trying to look like it. So now when they need the substance, at that very moment they fall short. You see that. You know, sometimes, you know, it's a lot of people, they trying to tell the truth now and they just keep lying. Yeah. There's a lot of people that they trying to treat, this is the worst one, this is the scary one. When you're trying to treat people nice and you just start realizing you nasty. And you can't change it. You can't change it. You was yelling at people, you was this and that, and one day you said, Dad, they keep talking, they keep telling me I'm not nice. They keep saying I'm not nice. And then you, hey, how you doing? And then you, oh, what you doing? And then now you see, oh shoot, I'm not nice. I can't change it either. That's scary. This is scary, and this is what's happening with people. That's why appreciate that stuff that you had in your house that nobody can take from you, that is in you, that people can appreciate. People can love it. Because life is about how we treat people. I think it was Chief Naphtali came up in here and he said, you know, the death is in all of the negativity. I'm paraphrasing. When you don't got love for people and you always talking about them and people get hurt in this, that's death. That's ego, that's gossip, that's hurt, that's pain. That's walking away stressed out, that's death. The life is in learning how you actually treating people. Not what you think you're doing, but what you actually doing, being a nice person. Thomas
22. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison. And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because Yahweh was with him, and that which he did, Yahweh made it to prosper. Chapter 40. And it came to pass after these things, that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker offended their lord the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against his two officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph to be with them. And he ministered unto them, and they continued the season in ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them. Each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream. The butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and saw them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his master's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sad today?
See now look, all that stuff that happened to Joseph, and this is his spirit. Right. And it's just something to see about people in general. I look at people with money. I look at white people. And what I learned about them is they have this high level of, they don't allow the smallest thing to get to them. They don't carry baggage. Like that, why are they so happy? And they just walk and then I look at, you know, black people. And then why are they so mean? You know, and I wonder, like, what's with, besides all of we got it hard and we got it rough, you take that hard and that rough stuff and you let it walk with you for the rest of your life. That's the difference. You take it with you and you walk with it, and everybody that come around you, you make them feel it. You tell everybody about your situation, and they gotta say, oh, and that, and then you walk around with this energy, and you never get it off, and then it attracts you. It attracts you. I got a little sad story to say, but it's something with energy and what you speaking. It's just something with it. It's something I can't put my finger on. This Indian lady is in my supermarket. She's a cashier. It's a bunch of young Spanish girls, and every other day they got a new girl, and they be training them. So every time I see this Indian lady, she got two things she like to speak about. She speak about her husband that left her for somebody, and she speak about how they always hiring people and none of them like her. So one day I was talking and I brought her some flowers. I got her some flowers. I got her flowers and I didn't have to ask my Isha. I didn't. And I told her too. But I felt bad for her. I felt bad. So I brought her the flowers, and you know, she was happy. She was feeling good. She was feeling great. I saw her. She was. Saw her yesterday. Glad y'all laughing. And they laid her off. And that's life. Now I don't know. All I know is what I told y'all. Every time I see this lady, this is her conversation. And it was like, I kind of could have maybe sort of seen it, but this is her energy when I speak to her. It's always about that, her husband and this and how they're treating her at the job. So it was just like, I'm learning to watch my mouth with stuff. And it's certain people that they don't carry a high level of negative energy with them all the time. So when you look at them, they all right. And then when something happens, they know how to finagle and get out of it. They don't flare up all the time. It's just it's the energy that you're walking with that you got to change. You can't. It's something I had and I forgot. But it's you think negative because you're always judging people. That's something that somebody said, and I thought about that. Like, wow, your mind is always going, and you're always thinking negative because you focused on what somebody else is doing is wrong. Now, for years we've been saying, I'm talking about the righteous, I'm talking about the wicked, I'm talking about the wicked. But what is it doing for you, like in general, with your spirit and how you're moving? You know, it's just something to think about. Time machine.
And they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And Yosef said unto them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell it me, I pray you. And the chief butler...
hold on, I'm sorry. Notice how he got humbled. All of a sudden now is do not interpretations belong to God. The dreams got him thrown in the pit before. He had a lot of time to be in jail, to think about it, and to watch how he talk. So the first thing is, I got the dream, but don't dreams belong to God? See, if he said that from the gate, they couldn't feel that energy. But he had time to humble himself. You got a lot of thinking when you're in jail. Time machine.
And the chief butler told his dream to Yosef and said unto him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches. And as it was budding, its blossom shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. And I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Yosef said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Within yet 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head and restore thee unto thy office. And thou shalt give Pharaoh's cup into his hand in the former manner when thou wast his butler. But have me in thy remembrance when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into this dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Yosef, I also saw in my dream, and behold, 3 baskets of white bread were on my head. And in the uppermost basket there was of all manner of baked food for Pharaoh. And the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Yosef answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within yet 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee.
Now the thing, the first person got a good interpretation. Right. The second one is getting a bad one, so it's like, dag, man. And you know, the thing about jail, I wasn't in there a lot. Just a little bit. It humbles you, but you never know when you coming out. Like, it's always up to them. And it could be the most smallest, pettiest thing. It's something about when you think you got control. That's why Yosef's spirit is so amazing. And you think you got control over things and people, and then out of nowhere it's just taken from you. You know, I remember when I was in school and I thought I was all of that, and I had this girl do my essay, and I'm like, yeah, she doing my essay. And then she wrote the whole essay for me and everything, and I'm like, yeah, she did the essay. So I went to school the next day, and I don't know what happened, I just can't remember. But we started arguing, and I'm talking, I'm just sitting back at the desk, and then she's, you know, she said something to me, and next thing I know, she grabbed the notebook, flipped through the pages, took the essay and said, slammed the book, threw it at me. And everybody looking at me, I'm like, and this essay, I need to pass the class. You know how the teacher be like, look, I don't care how much you was here, how many tests you passed. If you don't got this, you ain't passing the class. So I went from being all cool and smooth, and she did my essay, and I ain't do nothing, to mad, humble, and scared. And then you know you don't want to cause a commotion because the teacher going to know stuff. The girls, the guys are sitting at the table, everybody just looking at you, so I got to play it cool. And the whole time, the time is coming, you know, the bell, the period, and all I'm thinking about is how I'm in trouble. And I had to humble myself to her. I said, could I please? Could I please have the paper? And then she said, and she boiled it up and she threw it at me, and I was mad happy. But that's
You said you don't want to stop.
But she ripped it.
But she ripped it out the notebook.
Oh, out the book.
But it just goes to show you, never think you got control of stuff. Keep yourself humble. Keep yourself humble. Thomas, she cleaned it out.
And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and the head of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler back unto his butlership. And he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I'd like to thank you for your time, your attention. Let's remember how to treat each other. And I hope that you got something out of my lesson. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.